coverage.
The story continues to unfold.
Keep watching CBS 4 News. Now, live. This is CBS 4 News This Morning.
Good morning to you, South Florida. I'm Angela Ray. Danielle Knox is off today.
And I'm Susan Barnett. Here's a look at what's making news this morning. A brand new glimpse at Katrina's strength and fury. Home video shows the storm making landfall.
The situation for people who lost everything is getting more tense. Fights break out as the survivors wait for a presidential visit today.
Then more frustration as some evacuated to the Houston Astrodome are turned away. It's filled up.
Some power crews who have worked so hard to restore electricity here in South Florida will soon take on the task in the Gulf Coast.
Some groups in South Florida are ready to send help if they could find someone to distribute the goods. We have live team coverage.
In other news, the Dolphins logged their last preseason game and turned their attention to the real deal.
And your weather station keeping a close eye on the busy tropics as we head into the peak of hurricane season.
Well, it's 5 a.m. It is Friday,
Yay.
September 2nd.
Can you believe it?
No, it's Christmas already.
I know, almost. Then hurricane season will be over.
Exactly.
Elizabeth Hart's here this morning with a check of the weather. Hi there, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Angela and Susan. As we just told you, we have a lot of stuff to keep track of today in the tropics, and we'll highlight it all for you. But I want to show you what was happening last evening, maybe around dinner time for you. We had storms all over the place from Fort Pierce down through West Palm, across Lake Okeechobee. And look at some of these big storms inland out over the Glades and then down through southern portions of Miami-Dade County. So exactly where we didn't need the rain, still ongoing flooding down around Homestead and West Kendall. We got another dousing out there. Now, a quick peek at the tropical activity, or at least one of the elements that we're keeping tabs on. Tropical depression number 14, a little less than 1,000 miles east-northeast of the Leeward Islands, winds at 35 miles per hour, so just barely below tropical storm force. The good news is depression number 14 is expected to stay out to sea, even though we think that it could be upgraded to maybe Tropical Storm Maria. So around here today, we'll have sun this morning and then storms this afternoon. And in fact, we could have some very heavy rain. We will top out near 92. More details coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, 5:01 right now. Time for an early check of the roads on this Friday morning. Here's Ty Kennedy. Good morning, Ty.
Hey, good morning. Not much going on this morning around town. Let's get right over to the maps and take a look and see how things are shaping up for you this morning. Things overall look pretty good for you. If you're on 95 heading southbound, no issues north or southbound 595 on your approach back to Hillsborough. Once you get into the Golden Glades, there's some police activity taking place on the flyover there, but things still seem to be rolling fairly well. 95 moving pretty good all the way down towards the 112. This report brought to you by Palmetto Ford. Give them a try before you buy and keep it here. We'll have another report for you in 10 minutes. In traffic control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News This Morning.
New this morning out of Houston, the city's Astrodome is no longer accepting evacuees from New Orleans affected by the chaos after Hurricane Katrina, which hit earlier this week.
Yeah, well, after accepting more than 11,000 refugees, officials said the stadium is full and started sending buses to other shelters in the Houston area. 23,000 homeless, hungry, and increasingly desperate people were initially invited to the facility. Now, these new pictures show the cots and blankets inside the Astrodome setup for those arriving. Luckily, those survivors from Hurricane Katrina who made it early enough will now enjoy air conditioning, showers, hot meals, and phone service.
But before the Astrodome was filled, some evacuees were being turned away at the door. Those who drove themselves to the stadium were denied entry. Authorities say the shelter was only open to those bussed in, leaving many who made it on their own angry and confused. Before it reached capacity, several considered breaching security to gain access to the Astrodome.
Now, this morning, the crisis and chaos continues in New Orleans today, days after Katrina hit the Gulf Coast there. President Bush today will survey the area devastated by the storm.
Tens of thousands of people now are living in the city without food or water, just trying to survive. CBS 4's Brian Andrews, the only South Florida television reporter to ride out the storm in New Orleans, gives us more.
No formula, no water, and they want us to survive out here. Where's FEMA? Where's the mayor?
Desperation amid the deplorable conditions in downtown New Orleans. The thousands left behind wonder why help is taking so long to get here.
3 days straight, no food, no water, helicopters flying over our head. It's ridiculous.
It seems the worst of it is at the New Orleans Convention Center and the Louisiana Superdome, where we're hearing all kinds of stories about stabbings, rapes, even fights. Take a look at this fight caught on camera between two children. Tempers are short. However, the good news is that the busings continue. They're taking people from the New Orleans Superdome to the Houston Astrodome. Families are actually smiling as kids are getting on the buses, but there are some tough decisions to be made, including what to do about this family dog. He's been their pet for 9 years, but they had to leave the dog behind in New Orleans because animals aren't allowed on the bus to Houston. The situation in downtown New Orleans so dangerous that our bosses decided it would be in our best interest to leave. We're hearing sound of helicopters overhead, right behind you, Kevin. There it is. Sure feels like a war zone. Sure feels pretty scary. Hey guys, we gotta go. We gotta go. Get in. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, the CBS here, let me get the door for you. The CBS caravan is pulling out, and we are pulling out too. As we're heading out of town, we're looking at hundreds of people who are now up on the I-10, making their way across the Mississippi River Bridge. And with that, we've made our way out of New Orleans, and we're crossing the mighty Mississippi River on our way to hopefully a much better situation in the community of Kenner. The mayor of New Orleans says the death toll from Hurricane Katrina is in the hundreds, if not thousands. Already, bodies are being pushed aside at the New Orleans Convention Center. Bodies are covered up by sheets. Other bodies are sitting in wheelchairs with sheets draped over them. And at various houses in the flooded parishes, rescue workers who find dead people inside are marking a giant D on the door of the home to let the medical examiner know where they need to go once the flood waters subside for the cadavers to be recovered. The floodwaters are presenting major problems for firefighters. There have been a number of fires that have broken out around the greater New Orleans area, and there's simply no way to get to them, no way to fight these fires. And houses and other buildings are simply burning to the ground.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming.
President Bush asking his father, George Bush Sr., and former President Bill Clinton to arrange a national fundraising effort to help the people of New Orleans.
This recovery is going to be a long process. We all know this is an agonizing time for the people of the Gulf Coast. I ask their continued patience as recovery operations unfold.
But the president's words are not enough for the people who are still in downtown New Orleans, living in a hellacious situation, waiting to get out.
You could go in Iraq and come with big helicopters and set stuff up for people, but you can't do this for us? Come on, Bush. You could do better than that.
Brian Andrews, CBS 4 News this morning.
Plus, coming up at 5:30, CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard gives us his perspective on his return to his former home of New Orleans. And CBS 4's Mike Kirsch is heading to the New Orleans area. You can look for his live reports this week on CBS 4 News.
Federal money is on the way to help the disaster victims who've had their lives turned upside down by Hurricane Katrina. Congress voted to provide a $10.5 billion down payment in relief aid for Gulf Coast victims. The Senate approved the measure last night, and the House will convene at noon today to speed the measure for the president to sign.
5:07, dramatic video from a South Florida man caught in Biloxi, Mississippi, moments after Katrina hits that city.
There goes the house! The house is floating away! The house is floating away!
Wow, Boca Raton resident Shane Brown took these pictures from his third-floor hotel room when the storm hit Monday morning. The storm surge reached 27 feet and broke open the steel doors on their hallway. This morning, we are getting a very different look at the damage after Hurricane Katrina. Newly released and before and after satellite photos show bridges and piers in Biloxi broken into pieces by the storm surge. You will also see buildings brought down to the ground, smashed into unrecognizable piles of wood and concrete.
A few miles down the coast in Bay St. Louis, the same sight you can see there. Once pristine neighborhoods are now completely leveled. Wreckage and debris are all that's left behind. The Federal Emergency Management Agency continues to have a strong presence in southern Mississippi as rescue crews struggle to search for any survivors in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. State officials have reported more than 800,000 homes or businesses are still without power. Katrina is believed to have killed more than 125 people in Mississippi alone.
Well, after Hurricane Katrina swept through South Florida, power crews from all over the country helped many here see the light. Now they have more work to do. CBS 4's Nefertiti Jacquez is live in Hialeah with that story.
Good morning, Susan. As we all know, it's been a little over a week that FP&L crews worked diligently to restore hundreds of thousands of customers here in South Florida with power. And so FP&L wanted to say thank you, and so they threw a dinner party last night for their night crew and then plan on throwing a breakfast party for their morning crew today as those very tired FP&L workers head to the Gulf Coast. They worked 16-hour days, and now that the power is mostly back on, for a few moments, the party was on.
Great stuff here, buddy. This is a good meal here.
These guys worked up a powerful hunger.
We'd like to pay a real sincere and heartfelt thanks to everyone in this camp right here.
Florida Power and Light treated the men and women who got South Florida out of the dark to a meal fit for a king yesterday, prime rib and lobster. But for most of these tired men and women, the work is just beginning. They're headed to the Gulf Coast, hammered by Katrina. And if you take a look at the immense amount of trucks, over 300 FP&L workers will be leaving today in a convoy of trucks heading out to help our friends in the Gulf Coast. Their morning party will begin at 6:30, and we will be here to say goodbye and wish them luck. That's the very latest out here at the Hialeah racetrack. Nefertiti Jacquez, CBS 4 News this morning.
And here in South Florida, again, the drive for relief is well underway, with generous donors giving everything from cash to aerial transportation to make certain the Gulf Coast gets what they need. Here's CBS 4's Art Barron.
Along the northern Gulf, the scene is one of chaos. Behind the scenes, it's not a whole lot better.
They're running short of all kinds of stuff, of food and water and everything, and we're having a great deal of difficulty managing to provide commodities.
We got exclusive permission to sit in on this conference call between federal and state disaster response officials and relief organizations. Few answers, lots of questions, and lots of frustration.
It's utter chaos now. And we're just not going to get anything productive done until they get a little bit of a cleanup up there and get things organized. Well, this is all new to them, and, you know, down in Florida, unfortunately, we're seasoned.
I know.
So I think what we need to do is just sit back and be a little patient. If we send anything up blind, we're just going to get turned around.
Sure.
You know, so we're gonna have to work very closely and respect their position of what's going on, and respect them in their state. And we're going to try to help out as much as we can, but we can't force anything on them.
One of those on the call, Julius Littman of North Miami's Stop Hunger. He has plenty of supplies for those in need, but he himself is in need of help on the other end to distribute what he's trying to send.
How many trailer loads do you have here?
Right now we got 3 ready to go, but we can't load them or ship them because we have no place up there to ship it to.
By contrast, shipments of people are coming out of New Orleans, including displaced college undergrads arriving in South Florida. Now temporarily, they will be allowed to pursue higher learning on higher ground here.
We are hoping not to turn anybody away. We feel very strongly about a semester is so important in the life of a student.
Art Barron, CBS 4 News this morning.
Now, if you would like to donate to the victims of Hurricane Katrina, just call Neighbors for Neighbors. The number is on your screen. It's 305-597-4404. And join us this weekend for a 1-hour Katrina special and telethon. We'll bring you the latest out of the Gulf Coast and give you a chance to help out the victims. So please don't miss it this Saturday at 7 p.m. Then again on our sister station, UPN 33, Sunday at 1 p.m.
Well, it's 5:12 right now, and coming up next this morning, we're going to take you back to Louisiana, of course, an area just ravaged by Hurricane Katrina.
Plus, bad news for those people who fled to Florida to avoid the storm. College football season could force them from their hotels.
Also, a South Florida teenager says someone tried to grab her in a parking lot.
Good Friday morning. We will squeeze out some sunshine throughout this holiday weekend, but we are expecting some storms, and there's a lot to talk about in the tropics. We'll have that coming up.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running genuine Stainmaster carpet on sale for $1.99 a square foot. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
Looking for smart solutions? Pick up a copy of today's Herald.
10,000 $10,000 minimum for any trade at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek. During the Labor Day blowout, it's going on now. Until this Monday at midnight, Fairbanks is guaranteeing you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. And exclusive of that, get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, Caravan, and truck, every Dodge Charger, and every other Dodge in stock. But the $10,000 minimum trade deadline is midnight Labor Day at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek.
If you dream of furnishing your home with the best, but think it's out of your price range, you haven't been to Behr's. Now get extra savings on the stuff that dreams are made of at Behr's incredible Labor Day weekend sale. Up to 50% savings on every item in our showroom. All the styles you want at prices you have to see to believe. No interest 1 year, 24-hour delivery. Pinch yourself, you're not dreaming. Behr's Labor Day weekend sale. Beyond the ordinary. Don't miss it.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running ceramic tile on sale for 59 cents. Hurry, this sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
All right, 5:15 right now. Time for a check of the roads.
Okay, for that, we toss it over to Ty Kennedy. Good morning.
Hey, Angela, good morning. Things look pretty good for you overall. It's not going to be a bad ride for you. We'll start off looking at the 826. This is near 122nd, and things look pretty good for you there. It's moving along north, southbound, no real issues. Some construction on the exit ramp right around 103rd, but that's not really slowing you down at all. Let's look at your travel times. All is well in Broward County this morning, so things should look pretty good for you. 75 from the 595 area to the Palmetto if you're heading southbound, 18 to 20 minutes on 95, 595 the Golden Glades, 10 to 12, and on 95 heading south from the Golden Glades to the Dolphin, 12 to 15 minutes. This report brought to you by Pier 1. Another report coming up for you in 10 minutes. Traffic Control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
Thanks, Ty. I was doing this to my hair this morning to shield it from the humidity.
It is. There's no shield. There's no shield. We try every morning to create this like invisible shield of hairspray in the makeup room, and even that is ineffective. Yeah, I know. But I tell you what, we are going to have just some slightly cooler air by the end of the holiday weekend. I mean, to us, it's going to feel like 100-degree difference when we're just talking about a degree or two because it has been so hot. But some things that are going to happen between now and then may not appeal to you as much as that. So we'll break it all down for you. Right now, it is 78 in western Miami-Dade County. It is 2 degrees cooler than it was at this time yesterday. So that's something. 78 in Fort Lauderdale, and we're using the marathon temperature there for you. 83 down in the Middle Keys this morning. The weather station is still blown out down in Key West. Variable winds, not much of a breeze, and so far we have had no rain this morning, but we could see some heavy rain later on. Let's go ahead and take a look at what was going down last evening. Right around dinner time, we had big thunderstorms breaking out around Fort Pierce, just north of West Palm, and you can see these extended all the way over to the west coast. And most of our storms, at least the heaviest of those, into the early evening were inland out over the Everglades, but we did get a really heavy downpour through southern portions of Miami-Dade County, the area that got the worst of it from Katrina, really bearing the brunt of that. So thankfully it did clear out, but we're going to have the same setup again today because we have weak steering currents. We will be looking for those slow-moving thunderstorms to develop yet again. So here's the deal. We have a frontal system that is providing much of the northern U.S. with some much cooler and drier air, and it's not quite going to have that much of an impact on us. The flow out ahead of the front will be generally out of the southwest, but eventually that front's going to kind of slip on down here. We'll make it down to the Florida Straits, so at that point Sunday and especially into Monday you'll notice a little bit of difference. On to the tropics. Okay, well, we have 2 areas of high pressure, one in the western Atlantic and one in the eastern Atlantic, and in between these two, our last couple of tropical systems have got caught up in the in-between. So we had Tropical Storm Lee now dissipating out over the northern Atlantic. That has been driven northward, so it wasn't an issue for anybody. And then Tropical Depression number 14 looks like it is going to follow in Lee's path. What we're a little more concerned about is an area of low pressure, a wave that is way out there over the Atlantic, but because it's a little bit further south, it may miss out on the influence of those 2 highs. So that one may be our next issue, and it could become Tropical Depression 15 today. So we'll keep you posted. Storms in spots. We will top out near 92. Of course, it's going to feel like low 100s again into the overnight. 79. Storms linger. And here's a look ahead. Saturday could be very stormy, and then storms still likely Sunday and through Labor Day. Have a good one.
Elizabeth, you too. Thank you. Police are searching for a man who tried to abduct a student walking from school.
Investigators say that the 16-year-old girl was grabbed while taking a shortcut through a church parking lot on her way home from American High School in Northwest Miami-Dade Wednesday. Fortunately, she was able to fight the man off and run away. If you have any information, you are asked to call police.
A former FBI agent accused in a deadly wrong-way wreck that killed two brothers back in 1999 is starting to serve his sentence. David Farrell is in the Broward County Jail serving 90 days for driving under the influence. Farrell was acquitted of DUI, manslaughter, and vehicular homicide in the head-on collision that killed Craig Chambers and Maurice Williams. He still faces a multi-million-dollar civil suit in the case.
A carnival worker is in jail this morning for allegedly molesting a South Florida boy. Police say 34-year-old Dean Penrod romanced a woman at a Lauderhill fair back in June to get her 14-year-old son. Now, investigators say Penrod confessed to sexually assaulting the boy and has a sexual assault history that dates back 17 years. If convicted, he could be sentenced to 60 years in prison.
519 straight ahead, a look at how Louisiana is trying to stop water seeping into flooded regions.
Also, schools in one state are saying no to cola. That story just ahead in Dr. Sean's medical file.
Plus, a look at rising gas prices and how you can conserve. The story all new at 5:30.
But first, here's a look at the numbers on Wall Street.
CBS 4 News Traffic is sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Give us a try before you buy. 305-592 Ford.
Too fat.
Damaging your daughter's self-esteem for life.
When's the baby due? I say that I hate you.
What do you do about that?
What do you want me to do?
All new Dr. Phil. Today at 3 on CBS 4.
Are you ready? Oprah's Wildest Dreams bus is coming to you. Big stars are making dreams come true. Plus,
Only one person could help me bring this dream to life. Halle Berry. Next Oprah.
Today at 4 on CBS 4.
You got the betting barn, you got the discount price, and it feels so right. You got the betting barn, you got the discount price, and it feels so right. We got the package just for you. 8 pieces of lead and what to do. We got the betting barn, we got the discount price, and it feels so right.
Take it home with you or same-day delivery available by the betting barn near you. In Florida, Boynton Beach, Tamarack, West Palm Beach, Deerfield, and Davie.
You've been seeing someone else, haven't you?
No.
Come on, I can see it in your smile. Your teeth are so white.
Dr. Stevens, I can explain.
New Crest White Strips Premium Plus uses active oxygen, the same whitener professionals use for professional level whitening results at home.
Hi. Hi. Did you just get your teeth whitened?
New Crest White Strips Premium Plus, part of the Crest Dental Plan for healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
I'm CBS 4's Pamela Wright. We know your pet is an important member of your family. Now, if you're required to evacuate during a hurricane, you can take your pet with you to a shelter. New pet-friendly evacuation centers now available in Miami-Dade and Broward County, but you must pre-register. Call 305-597-4404 or log on to neighborsforneighbors.org to register. Space is limited, so call to save a spot.
Underwritten by Bank United and Herbert Hoover Foundation.
5:22 right now. Engineers are working at a frenzied pace. They're trying to repair broken levees in New Orleans.
Now, here's a look as helicopters dropped sandbags into one of the smaller dam breaks yesterday. If they can close the breaks, officials can then begin the process of pumping water out of the city.
Well, hundreds of Katrina evacuees seeking refuge in Tallahassee hotels may be forced out for this weekend's UM-FSU game. Rooms are traditionally limited when the rivalry hits the city, and this year is no exception. Managers say they're trying to accommodate everyone, but they can't ignore reservations that were made months in advance. The American Red Cross has offered to open shelters for those in need of a place to stay.
A music legend has been rescued from the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. Singer Fats Domino apparently rode out the storm at his New Orleans home and was rescued by boat from his flooded neighborhood yesterday. The 77-year-old R&B star was reported missing. Domino has sold more than 100 million records in his long career, including the legendary singles Blueberry Hill and Ain't That a Shame.
Wow. So people still being rescued from their homes by boats at, today's Friday. Storm hit there Monday. So 5:23 right now, and time for a check of the roads here in South Florida.
Yeah, help us out, Ty.
Not bad, Angela. Not a whole lot going on this morning, so it should be a pretty pleasant ride for you if you're heading to work a bit early on this Friday. Let's move over to the maps and see how things are shaping up for you. Overall, looks pretty good for you. No issues on the 836. It's moving along in both directions, 107th on your approach to Lejeune. As we make our way up north, you'll have no issues on 95 as well as 75. They're both moving along with no problems. We'll have another report for you in 10 minutes. In traffic control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
5:24 still ahead this morning. We're going to take you back to Louisiana, where communities are still underwater and overstressed.
South Florida prepares to send help to the regions hit hardest by Hurricane Katrina.
Plus, some people who called New Orleans home for the longest time are not ready to leave.
Good Friday morning. We are tracking 4 different items in the tropics. We'll have the details on that, plus a detailed look at your holiday weekend coming up.
When I drove to work by myself, I spend thousands a year on gas. Can you imagine with today's gas prices? But since I've started sharing my ride with Chris, Ricky, and Maria, I also share the cost. Carpooling to work is the way to go. Check it out.
Save on gas, parking, maintenance, commute time. Enjoy the company. Help reduce pollution. Log on to 1-800-234-RIDE today and find out why carpooling is the smart move. Or call 1-800-234-RIDE. That's 1-800-234-RIDE.
Did I mention it helps make new friends?
For all the extra hours you dedicate to your students, we think you deserve some extra credit. TIAA-CREF, serving the retirement needs of those in the academic, medical, cultural, and research fields. Visit us online to find out how we can serve you. TIAA-CREF, financial services for the greater good.
Before you leave on your vacation this summer, take a look at your auto insurance. Are you certain that you're getting the best price? You should know Mercury Insurance consistently beats its competitors in head-to-head rate comparisons. Florida drivers can save over $500 a year. So whatever road you take this summer, take Mercury along.
Mercury Insurance, going the extra mile for you. For a fast, free quote, call 888-4-MERCURY.
Out of all the car dealers on the web, only one connects you to the world's largest selection of cars and trucks, Maruni.com. Click Maruni.com to shop over 80,000 cars and trucks. And you can ask for Maruni's special internet price on every vehicle. Right, Dan Marino?
Why run around? Get price and selection with one pass at Maruni.com.
Maruni! Click Maruni.com or visit any of our 32 South Florida Maruni locations.
CBS 4 Weather is sponsored by the South Florida Water Management District, protectors of the Everglades.
526 opening Dr. Sean Caniff's medical file this morning. There's a new theory out about what causes mad cow disease.
The theory proposes that it comes from feeding British cattle meal contaminated with infected human remains. Now, the meal in question came from India, where bodies are sometimes thrown into a river as part of funeral rites. Scientists say the theory deserves further research.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, listen to this. Soda is fizzling out in California. The state assembly approved legislation that would ban selling carbonated drinks in state high schools. The ban would allow schools to sell drinks with at least 50% fruit or vegetable juice along with water. The new measure would cost school districts hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost income, but state leaders say the health benefits far outweigh the lost revenues.
Half of U.S. children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder are being treated with drugs. That is the word from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, what they're calling the first comprehensive study on ADHD. The study found that just under 8% of U.S. children ages 4 to 17 had been diagnosed with the disorder. It also found that boys are more than twice as likely to be diagnosed with ADHD than girls.
528 straight ahead in our next half hour. South Florida is sending help to the areas hit hard by Hurricane Katrina.
The newest member of CBS 4's storm team is in New Orleans to help cover the destruction. We will have a look at his trip.
Plus, the Dolphins lose to Atlanta. A recap of the game coming up. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running genuine hardwood on sale for $2.99 a square foot. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
This is one way to find out what your home is worth. Or simply go to housevalues.com. Find out what your home is worth free at housevalues.com. For your free home value report, go to housevalues.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running Pergo-type laminate on sale for 99 cents. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News This Morning.
Good morning to you, South Florida. It is 5:29. It's Friday morning, September the 2nd. I'm Susan Barnett.
I'm Angela in for Danielle Knox. She's off today, and meteorologist Elizabeth Hart is filling in for Pamela Wright this week while she's hanging out with the snooty people at Network on the early show. The big dogs. We have our own big dog, Elizabeth Hart, here. Take it away.
Good morning, ladies. And it is Friday. It is the start of a holiday weekend, and I know you want to know what's going on weather-wise. Well, some good news and some bad news and a lot of action in the tropics. We'll explain all that in just a moment. But first off, this is what was going on last night. We did have some storms roll on through South Florida, dumping heavy rain in parts of Miami-Dade County. But this morning, things are pretty quiet out there. We may see a few showers. So, of course, we had Tropical Storm Lee, which was pretty short-lived, the remnants of that up here this morning. And then we have Tropical Depression number 14 right there, a little less than 1,000 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands. This one down here, though, has our attention. That is a wave that is moving westward and is far enough south that it's probably going to avoid getting trapped in between the two highs that have been steering the other systems up to the north. So we'll talk more about that. Sun to start things off. Storms likely. We could see some heavy rain, and we'll detail the rest of the holiday weekend coming up.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth. Ty Kennedy, how's the traffic looking?
Angela, looks pretty good for the start of the holiday weekend. Things are moving along. As we move over to the maps, you'll see lots of green, which is good news for you. Things are moving at the posted speed, 595. Excuse me, no issue there as well. No issues on 75, and as we make our way down south, the two major north and south thoroughfares throughout South Florida, Turnpike and 95, both look pretty good for you this morning. This report is brought to you by Palmetto Ford. Give them a try before you buy and keep it here. We'll have another report for you in 10 minutes. In traffic control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News This Morning.
And now a quick look at some of our top stories this morning. President Bush is set to tour the Gulf Coast states by helicopter to survey Katrina's aftermath. Yesterday, he announced his father, former President George H.W. Bush, and former President Bill Clinton will head up private efforts to raise cash for disaster victims. Meantime, Houston's Astrodome is no longer accepting evacuees from New Orleans. After taking in more than 11,000 refugees, officials said the stadium is full and is sending buses to other shelters. 23,000 were initially invited to that facility.
The death toll from Hurricane Katrina in Mississippi has climbed past 125, and emergency workers are still scouring the 90-mile coast for bodies. Rescue teams continue to search for the living. State emergency officials say nearly 900,000 homes and businesses are still without electricity. Some won't have power for weeks.
Out-of-state crews who helped FPL get power up after Katrina are now leaving, but not without a huge thank you. Yesterday, hundreds of workers from 16 different states gathered at the Hialeah racetrack off East 4th Avenue for a big prime rib and lobster meal. But most of them aren't going home yet. Many are on their way to Mississippi to make much-needed repairs there.
Well, South Floridians are coming to the aid of Katrina's victims. The drive for relief is well underway, with generous donors giving everything from cash to aerial transportation to make sure that the Gulf Coast gets what it needs. The Red Cross and other local relief agencies are collecting the supplies to take to the devastated areas. Well, this morning, U.S. Customs and Borders Protection is sending a team from Miami to help the victims of Hurricane Katrina.
And trucks loaded with food, medical supplies, even generators are on the way to help with recovery efforts, and 2 marine vessels will be used to find flood survivors.
CBS 4's Yusila Ramirez is live from the Port of Miami with the very latest for us this morning. Yusila.
Well, right now all is quiet here at the Port of Miami, but things should change here quickly as those crews get ready to depart from here. That should be happening within the next hour or so. As you mentioned, these recovery teams will be taking over trucks loaded with supplies. As the situation gets worse in the Gulf Coast, tensions are rising. By now, we've all heard of stories of looters in New Orleans wreaking havoc on an already chaotic situation. Food and other supplies are running very scarce. Well, this is the second team that is going out to assist in the efforts, bringing food, medical supplies, tarps, generators, and power tools, all things that they'll definitely need in this recovery effort. Border Patrol, as you mentioned, also sending out 2 marine vessels to help search for surviving flood victims. That has been quite a challenge because there are so many hard-to-reach places in Mississippi, New Orleans, and of course this will just add to the help that is needed out there. Again, they should be leaving here anytime soon, within the next hour. We understand that about 6:30 they should be taking off, so we're going to try to get inside and get some video of them loading up as they get ready to depart. That is the U.S. Customs and Border Protection getting ready to leave here at the Port of Miami. That's the very latest in Miami. Yusila Ramirez, CBS 4 News this morning.
A South Florida pilot is on his way to the Gulf Coast this morning, donating his time and his plane to fly supplies to the devastated area of Biloxi, Mississippi. Boca Raton resident Jim Ruki will leave Lantana Airport with a cardiologist from Parkway Regional Medical Center early this morning. Diapers, baby formula, aspirin, and other basic necessities are among the supplies. Ruki, a former Air Force pilot, plans to stay for several days to help out. And if you'd like to donate to the victims of Hurricane Katrina, just call Neighbors for Neighbors. The number is 305-594-597. That is 4404.
Well, in New Orleans, tens of thousands are also in need of supplies, and conditions there are getting increasingly desperate. CBS 4 has the only South Florida television reporters covering Katrina's aftermath. Storm specialist David Bernard has more this morning from New Orleans.
Helicopters flying law enforcement into New Orleans, delivering some 70 troopers to help try to regain calm at the Superdome. Other choppers delivering SWAT team members to dozens of hostage situations throughout New Orleans East and downtown.
We have some troopers that have not been to their homes. They haven't seen if they had homes well. Along with everybody in Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, everyone has suffered severe devastation. We're doing everything that we can to help the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office and New Orleans Police Department try to restore some order and get those people who are still trapped out.
Louis Armstrong International Airport is being used as a field hospital. The concourse is converted into triage areas. Relief supplies are staging there, delivered by plane and helicopter. At one hospital in the greater New Orleans area, more than 1,000 patients are trapped and need rescue. Generators are failing. A boater helped rescue one patient who wandered off, still in his hospital gown. He was found dazed in a makeshift raft.
That poor guy, I mean, he's just one of 1,000 people that are just floating around, you know.
And relief efforts in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina are getting tougher because of the increased tension. The streets are filled with people who are hungry and angry. Dead bodies are everywhere. CBS 4's Allison Harmelin is live in Kenner, Louisiana with the very latest. Allison.
Good morning, Angela. We hear that some 3,000 soldiers from the U.S. Army and thousands more members of the National Guard are on their way here to New Orleans. Their orders are shoot to kill. This is a last-ditch effort to get this city under control. The chaos in New Orleans is turning into all-out anarchy. Armed looters prey on the helpless, dead bodies litter the streets, and thousands still wait to be evacuated. When buses do arrive, near riots break out for the seats. People are tired, frustrated, and overwhelmed.
We are all
all citizens that pay taxes, and we deserve to get something better treatment than this.
Many of Katrina's refugees are still at the Superdome and Convention Center. While conditions are primitive, officials say survivors are now being fed, but they don't have enough buses to move them. And on Thursday, the mayor issued a desperate SOS for aid. The federal government says relief is on the way in the form of thousands of more troops from the National Guard, food supplies, and cash. Many who have made it out of New Orleans are bringing with them their incredible stories of survival. They describe a city where mob mentality has taken over.
For a bottle of water, someone would hurt you or even kill you.
It's inhuman. I just cannot understand the mentality of these people.
4 days after Katrina hit, people are still wading through the streets. But there has been some progress. Helicopters have begun dropping giant sandbags to plug holes in the broken levees that left New Orleans underwater. And while that may solve one major problem, restoring law and order in the Big Easy could be far more difficult. Now, some 11,000 refugees from New Orleans are already at the Astrodome in Houston, but that said, we're told that 20,000 plus more are on their way today. Live in Kenner, Louisiana, I'm Allison Harmelin, CBS 4 News This Morning.
All right, Allison, thank you. Join us this weekend for a 1-hour Hurricane Katrina special and telethon. We're going to bring you the latest out of the Gulf Coast and give you a chance to help out the victims in desperate need. Please don't miss it this Saturday at 7 p.m., then again on our sister station, UPN 33. That'll be Sunday at 1 o'clock.
A Fort Lauderdale police officer accused of making a racist remark won't be reporting to work this morning. Officer Robert Hoffman is suspended for 30 days without pay and is required to go through 8 hours of anger management and cultural sensitivity classes. Hoffman is accused of making racially offensive remarks against 2 juveniles during a court proceeding back in April of 2003. 10 people are in jail this morning. They're rounded up in an operation aimed at taking preemptive strike against meth distributors and users in South Florida. The U.S. Attorney's Office announced the arrests as part of Operation Mean Streets. Officials say Jorge Mesquida, the alleged mastermind behind a group responsible for selling the drug in Westchester, Kendall, and the Hammocks, is in custody. Officials say meth is particularly dangerous because it's easy to make, inexpensive, and highly addictive.
Well, the Miami Dolphins ended their preseason against the Atlanta Falcons last night, and the results weren't favorable to our home team. As you saw it here on your Dolphins station, Gus Frerotte and A.J. Feely both struggled in their competition to become Miami's starting quarterbacks. Ricky Williams rushed for the Dolphins, but they still lost 20-17. The regular season begins next Sunday here at home for the Dolphins against the Denver Broncos. Kickoff 1 p.m. right here on CBS 4.
20 minutes now before 6 o'clock, and still ahead this morning, prices at the pump just continue to rise. We're going to look at how you can try and save.
A judge in Aruba releases a teenager held for 3 months in connection with a missing teen from Alabama.
Plus, a wall of dust covers an Arizona community.
Well, we have a couple of depressions out in the Atlantic and a couple of waves that bear watching. So we'll talk about all that and detail your holiday weekend forecast coming up.
Everybody wants a great deal on a new car, but not any dealership can deliver. Well, at Esserman International Volkswagen, you want it, you got it. You want a brand new 2005 Jetta Value Edition loaded with extras for just $229 a month? You got it. You want it with no down payment and no security deposit? You got it. You want scheduled maintenance included for the life of your loan? You got it. Esserman International Volkswagen. You want it, we got it. So get it.
Esserman Internacional, pegadito al International Mall.
Athlete's foot keeps coming back no matter what you do? Fed up with itchy feet? Stop Athlete's foot in its tracks with dual-action Zeosorb AF powder. Zeosorb AF contains an effective medicine that kills athlete's foot fungi. And Zeosorb AF keeps your feet and toes dry to help stop athlete's foot from recurring. You too can enjoy healthy, happy feet. Get doctor-recommended dual-action Zeosorb AF powder.
Get Zeosorb, available at CVS and Walgreens.
Have you lost your home to foreclosure? We can help. Call Home Plus Solutions today at 305-651-8711. Losing your home was painful enough. Let HPS assist you in the healing process. If your home was sold at a court auction, it may not be too late to recover money from the sale. Let our team of legal recovery experts start working for you now with absolutely no upfront charges. And remember, we only get paid if we recover money for you. Call Home Plus Solutions, a full-service foreclosure solutions firm.
Since 1954, Miami-Dade County has been the home of the Whopper. But when Burger King needed a new world headquarters, the question was simple: here or to go? With the help of the Beacon Council, they had it their way and decided to invest $68 million and keep more than 600 jobs right here. Make it Miami, Miami-Dade County. Brought to you by the Beacon Council and CBS4 in partnership to strengthen the economy of Miami-Dade County.
It's kickoff time. CBS4 and BrandSmart USA have a chillin' and grillin' promotion just for you. Visit participating BrandSmart USA locations for a chance to chill out at Miami versus Kansas City and score big with family and friends the rest of the season with a brand new grill. Brought to you by BrandSmart USA and CBS4.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
5:44, traffic time.
Sounds good. Here is Ty Kennedy with a check of the roads. Good morning, Ty.
Hey, Susan. Good morning. You know, I think a lot of people may have perhaps taken the day off, just starting that weekend a bit early. Traffic is really light around most of the areas. What we're looking at is 595, and this is near Pine Island Road, and it's moving along, but not really too congested as well as most of the other roads in Broward County. 75 and 95 all look pretty good for you this morning, so if you do have to go to work today, good news for you. You won't have to deal with all that congestion, perhaps. Now let's look at your travel time, see how things are shaping up for you. 75 Palmetto to 595, 18 to 21 minutes. 95 from the Golden Glades to 595, 10 to 15. And 95 the Dolphin to the Golden Glades, 12 to 15 minutes. This report brought to you by Pier 1. We'll have another report for you in 10 minutes. In traffic control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
Well, did you get some showers yesterday?
I did not, but the day before I got drenched.
Really?
Yeah, both in Miami-Dade and in Broward County. So
I got some yesterday, thank goodness, because my lawn is suspiciously dry. So
we get little notes on our door. If your lawn's brown, water your grass.
No.
Oh, we do.
You're kidding me.
The association.
Oh, I'm not associated with it.
Anyway.
Hey, Elizabeth Hart's
Hello.
joining us now. Talk about her yard. No,
I don't have any grass, so yeah, I live in an apartment. It's all cement. I got one tree, and it's down from Katrina.
So that's bad.
That's all I had. I tell you what, we are going to get some rain later this afternoon. So anybody who had a nasty little note on their door, write them back. Say, hey, it's
tactful.
coming.
It's always tactful.
I'm sure. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers around South Florida. Temperatures just slightly cooler than they were at this time yesterday. 78 in western Miami-Dade. Here at CBS 4 Weather Control, 78 in Fort Lauderdale, and we're in the low 80s down in the Keys. The humidity is at 98%. We are an 8 on the stickiness scale. Feels summery, I'd say, and the winds are variable. No rain to speak of yet, but we think that that is coming. All right, let's take a look at what's happening on the satellite and radar around the state and extending down into western Cuba. You can see we had a fair bit of stormy weather yesterday, and even a couple of storms over the northern Bahamas. We're watching a little circulation here just to the east of the Bahamas. It's nothing real significant right now, but we're concerned that with the water temperatures so warm at this time of the year that it could in fact maybe develop into something. So that's one scenario that we're paying attention to. The other one is a front, believe it or not, a cold front that's traversing the Midwest and Tennessee Valley this morning and may in fact provide some slightly cooler temperatures for us by the end of the weekend. It's going to get down to about the Florida Straits and then kind of wash out and then come back up north, bringing more moisture with it. Couple of interesting things here on the water vapor. Of course, we are in the soup. You can see the green showing up there indicating very moist air. But notice these two circulations out in the Atlantic. This one down to the south and this one up to the north. That's in association with our tropical depression. So both of them have been running into some drier air and they've both been getting sheared off by upper level low. So on the south side of those storms, the wind shear or the winds coming in from a direction that blows the cloud tops off of those systems has been interfering with development development. In addition to that, 2 areas of high pressure kind of forcing these things northward. Now, we have a new little wave that we're watching, and it is about midway between the Leeward Islands and Africa. It shows up here on the bottom of your screen there. You can see it coming into play. Well, this one is going to be far enough south that we think that those two things, the highs and then the lows, creating the wind shear, will not be an issue for us. It's a wave right now, but it could become a depression by later this afternoon, and it has potential for development. So we'll keep you posted. Storms in spots today. Some could be heavy. We will top out near 92. Heat index about 105 into the overnight. Actually, boating forecast coming up, variable. Winds 5 to 10, but again, with some storms around, be careful out there. Storms linger into the evening, and then throughout your Labor Day weekend, storms likely, but again, a little bit cooler with a high near 89 on Monday. Have a good one.
All right, Elizabeth, 12 minutes before 6 o'clock, and some Arizona residents are hoping for a clear commute this morning after a wall of dust moved through Phoenix. Yesterday, officials say thunderstorms kicked up this huge dust storm, and it's causing problems both on land and in the air. Airplanes landing at Sky Harbor International Airport would nearly disappear into the sand while they were on final approach. Also, reports of a multi-car accident in the area is believed to have been partly caused anyway by that storm.
A judge in Aruba orders the release of the Dutch teenager jailed in the disappearance of an Alabama teen. The judge reportedly ruled there was no reason to hold Joran Vandersloot any longer on suspicion of murder, but the youth remains a suspect in the sexual assault of Natalie Holloway. Officials say he will be released this weekend. Holloway, missing since May 30th, has not been found.
5:49 right now, and coming up next this morning, the Coast Guard sends help to the areas hit so hard by Hurricane Katrina. South Florida is gathering relief for the victims of the storm.
They helped us, and now they're going to help our friends in the Gulf Coast. I'm Nefertiti Jacquez, and I'll tell you who I'm talking about coming up at 6 o'clock.
Plus a look at rising rates you're seeing at the gas pumps.
Okie dokie, kiddos, time to rise and shine. It's Friday, head on to school, but first take a look at school lunches for Miami-Dade and Broward Public Schools. You study hard for Miss Ray. We love you. We'll be right back.
Does Miss Ray love me?
CBS 4 News Traffic is sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Give us a try before you buy. 305-592 Ford.
Hurricane Katrina. It's being called the worst natural disaster in the U.S. since Andrew. Now CBS 4's Brian Norcross breaks down the storm from first landfall.
This is a bad situation.
To the devastation on the Gulf Coast.
We lost our home. We have nowhere to go.
With special insight from David Bernard on the scene in his former hometown of New Orleans. Plus the latest information on the flooding, the recovery efforts, and how you can help. Watch a special edition of Hurricane 2005 in the path of Katrina. Tomorrow night at 7 on CBS 4. Brought to you by these sponsors.
If you dream of furnishing your home with the best, but think it's out of your price range, you haven't been to Behr's. Now get extra savings on the stuff that dreams are made of at Behr's incredible Labor Day weekend sale. Up to 50% savings on every item in our showroom. All the styles you want at prices you have to see to believe. No interest 1 year, 24-hour delivery. Pinch yourself, you're not dreaming. Behr's Labor Day weekend sale. Beyond the ordinary. Don't miss it.
County Line Lexus makes the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event even more golden. Right now, lease a luxurious new LS430 loaded with leather, CD, and sunroof for only $499 per month. $499 for only 36 months. Take advantage of huge Lexus Golden Opportunity savings, plus sign and drive on every new Lexus with absolutely no money down and no money out of pocket during the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event going on right now at County Line Lexus, home of the Lexus Way.
This weekend, discover the amazing world of the International Gem and Jewelry Show. Discover great values and excellent selection. Don't miss the best the world of jewelry has to offer. Choose from estate jewelry, custom-made jewelry, loose gems, beads, gold, silver, and much more. Once you discover it, you will never shop for jewels anywhere else. This weekend, the International Gem and Jewelry Show.
$10,000 minimum for any trade-in at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass. All during the Labor Day blowout going on now. Until Monday at midnight, Fairbanks is guaranteeing you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. And exclusive of that, get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, Caravan, and truck, every Dodge Charger, and every other Dodge in stock. But the $10,000 minimum trade deadline is midnight Labor Day at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass.
Right.
8 minutes before 6 o'clock right now, and now to the place we are all bound to see Hurricane Katrina's effects at the gas pumps.
This is awful. CBS 4's Evan Bacon is in Doral with what the governor had to say about the rising prices. Take a listen.
If you've tried to fill up your gas tank in the last couple days, you know about the pain at the pump.
Gas prices are going up, wages aren't, so it does affect us.
Gas prices are going through the roof and fast. 40, 50, as much as 73 cents a gallon in the last 2 days.
You're spending like 30, 40, 50 bucks a week on gas.
That's just too much, according to Florida's Attorney General, who has issued subpoenas to 2 Florida oil companies for possible price gouging.
If the supply continues to be the same that's coming into South Florida, then what would be the rationale for raising the price? Except maybe to make a lot of money.
Gas supplies are not the problem, say state leaders, but rather a dramatic increase in gas consumption. People hoarding more fuel than they need.
For the foreseeable short term, we must conserve gasoline and electricity, and it needs to be a shared sacrifice by all Floridians.
The federal government is trying to help by tapping oil reserves to keep refineries churning, and the EPA is relaxing gas standards to ensure that fuel supplies continue uninterrupted. And you know, Florida Power and Light is also feeling the strain. It needs natural gas, which comes from the Gulf states, to operate its power plants. But for the rest of us, it's conservation. Do it now to save money now and into the future. In Doral, Evan Bacon, CBS 4 News this morning.
All right, it's 5:54 right now. Speaking of gas, you might have to fill up on your way to work.
Oh boy, Ty Kennedy.
Hey, good morning, Angela and Susan. The good news is if you do leave right now, you don't have to worry about sitting in any congestion because things look pretty good for you. We'll start off with the 826, and it looks pretty good. If you're traveling eastbound on the 826, reports of a crash at Red Road that's causing some minor delays, but other than that, things look pretty good for you. This is 595 in Broward County, and steady stream of cars heading in either direction, but no delays. Good news for you, Pine Island, on your approach back to 75. We'll have another report for you in just about 10 minutes. In traffic control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
Just ahead this morning, crews from South Florida are gearing up to help in the hurricane zone.
Also, a look at just how strong this storm was. Home video recorded as it hit.
But first, a look at your winning lottery numbers. Good luck, everybody. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running travertine marble on sale for $249 a square foot. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
See what the buzz is all about at Lauderdale BMW. Now, the nation's top-selling BMW Center. The exciting new 2006 325i has arrived for just $399 a month. Zero cost, full maintenance. Raising the bar with its exceptional design and performance. The 2006 325i. Now at Lauderdale BMW with 2 locations in Fort Lauderdale and Pembroke Pines. Lauderdale BMW. The real difference.
When I drove to work by myself, I spent thousands a year on gas. Can you imagine with today's gas prices? But since I've started sharing my ride with Chris, Ricky, and Maria, I also share the cost. Carpooling to work is the way to go. Check it out.
Save on gas, parking, maintenance, commute time. Enjoy the company. Help reduce pollution. Log on to 1-800-234-RIDE today and find out why carpooling is the smart move. Or call 1-800-234-RIDE. That's 1-800-234-RIDE.
Did I mention it helps make new friends?
For all the extra hours you dedicate to your students, we think you deserve some extra credit. TIAA CREF, serving the retirement needs of those in the academic, medical, cultural, and research fields. Visit us online to find out how we can serve you. TIAA-CREF, financial services for the greater good.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running genuine Stainmaster carpet on sale for $1.99 a square foot. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
5:57 right now. We are following some breaking news we're getting in from CNN. Now, CNN is reporting that there are fires and explosions happening near a rail yard in the southwest section of New Orleans. So fires and explosions in the southwest section of New Orleans at a rail yard. We're not getting any word on what is causing these fires or explosions. We don't know if it's some chemical there, something natural, or if it has something to do with the gangs of people who have been causing trouble in the city. We do know, though, that officers there have been ordered to shoot to kill in looting situations and people who have been setting fires and firing shots. So again, explosions happening at a rail yard in the southwest section of New Orleans. We're going to continue to follow this and try to find out what the source of those explosions and fires is. And when we get that information, we will bring it to you.
In the meantime, let's switch gears. Oh, it's Mr. Food Time, and he's always got a tasty treat for us.
He sure does, and it will bring out the taste of Italy. I like that. It's all about Italian veal stew.
Oh, sounds so good.
On busy weeknights, eating in is in. No time to wait for a table at a restaurant or to call for takeout. So if we can let something simmer on the stove the night before and have it ready to just warm up the next night, we're way ahead of the game. Here's an Italian favorite that'll do it. What we do is coat 1.5 pounds of veal stew meat with a quarter of a cup of flour that we season with salt and pepper, and we brown it in a bit of olive oil. Then we stir in a can of diced Italian-style tomatoes, juice and all, 2/3 of a cup of chicken broth, 2 cloves of minced garlic, and the leftover flour mixture. Now we bring it all to a boil, we cover it, and we simmer it. That means on a low heat about 45 minutes. Then we add 2 peppers, cut up in strips. We simmer it a bit more till the veal is fork tender and ready. But even better, you let all those flavors of Italy marry overnight in the fridge. And then the next night, all we have to do is warm it up. Just serve it over a bit of rice with a sprinkling of grated Parmesan cheese and mangia. You know, eat and enjoy. Because it's one of those kind of dishes that tastes even better the second day. And if you like the recipe, you just send a self-addressed stamped envelope marked Italian veal stew to me, Mr. Food, right here at the station, or look for it online for a hearty make-ahead meal that'll bring the tastes of long cooking with simple warming. And when the gang tastes this, we'll be hearing "ah, molto bene." That's Italian for, "ooh, it's so good."
And here's a look at what's ahead this morning.
We are getting a look at Katrina's might. Home video as the storm struck Mississippi.
Tensions are heating up in the hurricane zone where fights have broken out between people left with nothing.
Louisiana's governor is declaring war against looters who have created a mob mentality in the waterlogged streets of New Orleans.
Houston's Astrodome, a home away from home for thousands, is now turning people away. The building is full.
Power crews who worked so hard to restore power here in South Florida now have a new task to tackle.
Those crews will head up to the Gulf Coast to help them there. I'm Nefertiti Jacquez, and I'll have that story in my live report coming up at 6 o'clock.
Plus, more crews from South Florida are heading to the areas in need to offer their support.
Your weather station keeping a close eye on the active tropics as we head into the peak of hurricane season. CBS 4 News starts right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News This Morning.
Good morning to you, South Florida. It's 6:01. It's Friday morning, September the 2nd. I'm Susan Barnett.
I'm Angela Ray, and for Danielle Knox, let's get you a quick check of weather. Meteorologist Elizabeth Hart filling in for Pamela Wright this week. Hey there.
Well, good morning, Angela and Susan. I want to show you this map because there's something amazing and exciting on it. A cold front. Remember those? It's been months since we've seen one, and it's not going to have a huge impact on us here in South Florida, but it will mean some slightly cooler temperatures by the end of the holiday weekend. It's over the Midwest right now, heading down towards the Tennessee Valley, and eventually it will make it down to about the Florida Straits where it kind of washes out. But again, a little decrease in humidity. Not today. We are definitely in the soup. Now, on to the tropics. Well, a lot of stuff going on. A depression up there, a depression wind down there, a wave down there, a little area of low pressure here just off of the Bahamas. We got to talk about all that, so we'll detail it for you coming up in a few minutes. But for right now, sunshine this morning, storms this afternoon. Some could be heavy. We'll top out near 92.
Sounds good. 6:02, time for a check of the roads. Let's hope that's going along just fine. How's it look, Ty?
Not looking too bad at all, Susan. It's going to be a pretty good ride for you this morning as we take a look at the maps. Let's see how things are shaping up for you. No real issues reported throughout the Tri-County area. A couple of accidents you have to worry about. They're minor. If you're on the 836 and you're heading eastbound between 107th on your approach to Lejeune, you will find traffic flowing along at the posted speed. No real issue there. On the Palmetto, right around Red Road, reports of a crash there. Reported eastbound. That will slow you down just a bit. Turnpike, all green, as well as 95 heading into Broward County from 595 on your approach to Hillsborough Boulevard. This report is brought to you by Palmetto Ford. Give them a try before you buy and keep it here. We'll have another report for you in 10 minutes in traffic control. Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
Well, Houston's Astrodome is no longer accepting evacuees from New Orleans affected by the chaos after Hurricane Katrina, which hit, of course, earlier this week.
Now, after accepting more than 11,000 refugees, officials said the stadium is full and started sending buses to other shelters in the Houston area. 23,000 homeless, hungry, and increasingly desperate people were initially invited to that facility. Also, these new pictures you're looking at show the cots and blankets inside the Astrodome set up for those who are arriving. Luckily, those survivors from Hurricane Katrina who made it early enough will now enjoy AC, showers, hot meals, and phone service.
But before the Astrodome was filled, some evacuees were being turned away at the door. Those who drove themselves to the stadium were denied entry. Authorities say the shelter was only open to those who were bussed in, leaving many who made it there on their own angry and confused.
I wasn't able to get on the bus. I got a ride from a guy, just like my partner over here. He he flew down here, and they wouldn't allow him to get in. He has family also. He has family in there. They still wanted him in, so we don't know what to do.
Now, before it reached capacity, several considered breaching security to gain access to the Astrodome, and desirable sources, according to sources inside.
Yes. Well, we've been saying it over and over. The situation is desperate. People are overwhelmed, and despair has certainly set in. People are now in little groups begging for food, begging for help. Corpses continue to rot in the streets, on the sidewalks, and of course, as we've been hearing, bands of thugs are wreaking havoc along the area, causing the Big Easy to say, you know what? We're going to shoot to kill if anybody is disobeying the law.
That's right, and a series of explosions was heard this morning about 4:30 at a rail yard in southwest New Orleans. Apparently some pretty massive explosions. We're not sure what has caused them. We don't know if it's those bands of people who are causing trouble in the city, or if it was something natural, a chemical or something that was there that ignited. So we're going to continue to follow that. Still no report on the damage caused by those explosions either, but we'll let you know about that. In addition, this morning, as Angela mentioned, the crisis and the chaos just continues in New Orleans. Days after Katrina hit the Gulf Coast, President Bush today will survey the devastation by the storm.
Tens of thousands of people are living in the city without food or water, just trying to survive. Here's CBS 4's Brian Andrews. He's the only South Florida television reporter to ride out the storm in New Orleans. He gives us more.
Dire straits right now in downtown New Orleans as thousands of people are trying to get out. Tempers are flaring. There is no food. People are running out of water. Supplies have still not gotten into the downtown area. Let's take you to videotape, show you what's happening at the Louisiana Superdome. It is a mess. People are angry. There are reports that a Louisiana National Guardsman had his gun taken from him last night and he was shot in some sort of skirmish. There are also reports that women have been raped in the Superdome, that there have been fistfights, that there have been stabbings. It's just a lawless situation downtown, which is why the National Guard and the military police are sending in additional reinforcements to help the New Orleans Police Department, which is apparently overwhelmed with trying to keep the peace in the downtown area. We're actually outside of New Orleans right now. It has just finished raining, and as you can see, the State Police Command Post is behind us. Let me bring in CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard. David, you know people down here, and they've been filling you in on the real story. What's happening behind the scenes here?
Well, it's just unbelievable, Brian, and lawlessness reigns over a good part of the metropolitan area. I want to speak now with Anne-Marie Dusang with the Louisiana State Police. Anne-Marie, this has to be one of the toughest challenges the Louisiana State Police has ever faced.
It definitely is. We have troopers working round the clock right now. We have gotten a lot of help, many volunteers. we could use as much as we can possibly get, and we're grateful for a lot of the help that we do, but everyone's getting tired, and it's rough. It's hard.
Do you think that the reinforcements coming in, the military, National Guard, are going to help stabilize the situation soon?
It seems like they have been so far. We're trying to get things under control, and it seems like a lot of it is pretty much controlled now.
Okay, well, hopefully things will get better in the next coming days. For Brian Andrews, I'm meteorologist David Bernard reporting from the Hurricane Katrina disaster zone. Back to you.
And CBS 4's Mike Kirsch is heading to the New Orleans area. You can look for his live reports this week on CBS 4 News.
Federal money is on the way to help the disaster victims who've had their lives turned upside down by Hurricane Katrina.
Congress has voted to provide a $10.5 billion down payment in relief for the Gulf Coast victims. The Senate approved the measure last night, and the House will convene at noon today to speed that measure for the president to sign.
Here's the House! The House is floating away! The House is floating away!
Dramatic video from a South Florida man caught in Biloxi, Mississippi, moments after Katrina hits the city. Look at this video. Boca Raton resident Shane Brown took these pictures from his third-floor hotel room when the storm hit Monday morning. The storm surge reached 27 feet and broke open the steel doors on their hallway. And this morning, we're getting a different look at the damage after Hurricane Katrina. Newly released before and after satellite photos show bridges and piers in Biloxi broken into pieces by the storm surge. You also see buildings brought down to the ground, smashed into unrecognizable piles of wood and concrete.
Well, after Hurricane Katrina swept through South Florida, power crews from all across the country helped many here to see the light. Now they have more work to do. CBS 4's Nefertiti Jacquez is live in Hialeah with that part of the story.
Good morning, Susan. As you mentioned, it has been a little over a week that FP&L crews have restored power for hundreds of thousands of South Florida residents. And to say thank you, FP&L threw a party for the night crew last night and will throw yet another party for the AM crew this morning. But the party won't last long. The already tired crews are headed out to the Gulf Coast to try to shed some light there.
Worked 16-hour days, and now that the power is mostly back on, for a few moments the party was on.
Great stuff here, but it's a good meal here.
These guys worked up a powerful hunger.
We'd like to pay a real sincere and heartfelt thanks to everyone in this camp right here.
Florida Power and Light treated the men and women who got South Florida out of the dark to a meal fit for a king yesterday, prime rib and lobster. But for most of these tired men and women, the work is just beginning. They're headed to the Gulf Coast, hammered by Katrina.
We're just ready to go help the other people. We've seen a lot, watched a lot on TV when it's real bad, and we're ready to see if we can't get some power restored for them.
So these workers from 25 states will spend more time away from home. They say they're earning money, but Gil Kelly from Delaware says there is another reward.
A large part of it is just seeing satisfaction on people's face. They come out crying. There's so many stores today. A woman had asthma. She's been suffering. She was so thrilled to just get electric back on.
So in the end, they're prepared to leave, ready to work, and to spread the good old high voltage love.
I think I love you.
And if you take a look, there are over 300 workers that are preparing their trucks this morning because after their breakfast party, they'll head out to help our friends in the Gulf Coast. Their party is set for 6:30 a.m. and we will be there to wish them well. That's the very latest outside of the Hialeah racetrack. Nefertiti Jacquez, CBS 4 News this morning.
6:11 here in South Florida. The drive for relief is well underway with generous donors giving everything from cash to aerial transportation to make certain the Gulf Coast gets what they need. Here's CBS 4's Art Barron.
Along the northern Gulf, the scene is one of chaos. Behind the scenes, it's not a whole lot better.
They're running short of all kinds of stuff, of food and water and everything, and we're having a great deal of difficulty managing to provide commodities.
We got exclusive permission to sit in on this conference call between federal and state disaster response officials and relief organizations. Few answers, lots of questions, and lots of frustration.
It's utter chaos now. And we're just not going to get anything productive done until they get a little bit of a cleanup up there and get things organized. Well, this is all new to them, and, you know, down in Florida, unfortunately, we're seasoned.
I know.
So I think what we need to do is just sit back and be a little patient. If we send anything up blind, we're just going to get turned around.
Sure.
You know, so we're gonna have to work very closely and respect their position of what's going on, and respect them in their state. And we're going to try to help out as much as we can, but we can't force anything on them.
One of those on the call, Julius Littman of North Miami's Stop Hunger. He has plenty of supplies for those in need, but he himself is in need of help on the other end to distribute what he's trying to send.
How many trailer loads do you have here?
Right now we got 3 ready to go, but we can't load them or ship them because we have no place up there to ship it to.
By contrast, shipments of people are coming out of New Orleans, including displaced college undergrads arriving in South Florida. Now temporarily, they will be allowed to pursue higher learning on higher ground here.
We are hoping not to turn anybody away. We feel very strongly about a semester is so important in the life of a student.
Art Barron, CBS 4 News This Morning.
And if you'd like to donate to the victims of Hurricane Katrina, just call Neighbors for Neighbors. The number is 305-597-4404.
And join us this weekend for a 1-hour Hurricane Katrina special and telethon. We will bring you the latest out of the Gulf Coast and give you a chance to help the victims. Don't miss it. It's this Saturday at 7 o'clock and again on our sister station, UPN 33, Sunday at 1 in the afternoon.
It is now 6:13. We're going to take you back to Louisiana, an area ravaged by Hurricane Katrina.
And South Florida is sending help to the areas hit so hard by Hurricane Katrina.
Plus, one New Orleans teen steals a school bus transporting him and several others out of harm's way.
The time right now, 6:14. Time for a check of the roads. Here's Ty Kennedy. Hi, Ty.
Hey, Susan. Good morning. So far, so good. Things look pretty good for you and throughout Broward County. Let's look at 595 near Pine Island. Traffic picking up a little bit for you if you're heading eastbound. You don't really have much to worry about. It's not congested, it's not delayed, but it is getting a little bit busier. Pine Island on your approach to the Turnpike. No issues on the Turnpike north or southbound between Pines Boulevard on your approach to Commercial. Looking at your travel times this morning, 75 from the Palmetto to 595, 21 minutes. 95 the Golden Glades to 595, 13 to 15 minutes. And on 95 from the Dolphin to the Golden Glades between 15 and 17 minutes. This report brought to you by Barbecues Galore. We'll have another one for you in 10 minutes. Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News This Morning.
But in our hearts, we're hurting.
Well, the pictures of Katrina's devastation can take your breath away.
No, this reminds me so much of Hurricane Andrew and the days after that first.
Widespread destruction, hundreds of thousands are flooded out.
Well, CBS 4's Brian Andrews has been riding out this storm from the beginning.
New Orleans is in a state of disaster.
Today, we're only beginning to see the devastation that was caused by this hurricane.
Urgent. Employee pricing plus. Save up to $67.38 on Pacifica. Save up to $71.31 on Town and Country. Employee pricing plus at Day Jeep Chrysler. Southwest 158th Street and US 1.
Marshall's Law number 6. You can't choose your DNA, but you can always choose your jeans. Designer fall fashions. Fabulous prices you'll fall for. That's Marshall's Law.
$99 a month! Make the smart move and buy a new 05 Suzuki Forenza with more room than Ford Focus from just $99 a month. Only at Bill Seidel Suzuki, Northwest 36th Street and 27th Avenue, just 10 blocks east of the airport.
Man, the Mazda Summer Sales Event could really be a problem. This Mazda 3 drives as good as they say.
And that Tribute.
And there's the Mazda 6.
Oh, man.
Which reminds me, where's...
It's the Mazdas on the Move Summer Sales Event. During our model year-end clearance, get up to $3,000 cash back on a 2005 Mazda 6 Sports Sedan. Offers end September 6th, so get to your Mazda dealer now.
Follow me to Salsa Night!
South Florida's hottest salsa music, along with Roberto Torres and some of the most beautiful people on the dance floor under the Miccosukee lights. Show off your style or learn how to salsa for the first time.
It's time to salsa at the Miccosukee Resort.
Every Wednesday night. For more information, call 305-925-2555. The Miccosukee Tribe of Indians. Follow us. We're leading the way.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
Big holiday weekend on tap. and the pressure's on.
I know, and I'm failing. I'm afraid. I wish I could say it's going to be sunny and beautiful and low humidity, but not so much. We're going to have some storms around. Now, there will be some slightly cooler temperatures coming for the end of the weekend, so do I get a couple points?
Sure.
You do. Okay, let's take a look at the numbers around South Florida. It's not quite as steamy as it was this time yesterday. We're a couple of degrees cooler here at CBS 4 Weather Control. 78 in western Miami-Dade, 79 in Fort Lauderdale, and it's in the low 80s down in the Keys. Humidity up there at 96%, so yep, still feels oppressive out there, and the winds are calm, so not much of a breeze to cool you down. All right, let's take a look at the past 12 hours on the satellite and radar. We yet again had some storms firing last evening, so here they were. Maybe you were eating dinner or trying to get home about that time, but at any rate, with the loss of daytime heating, everything expired, and we are looking quiet this morning, although we could have a couple of showers creeping onshore for the latter part of the morning commute if you're going to work. Probably sitting at home, aren't you? And then down into the lower Keys, couple of showers maybe creeping across the overseas highway, but that is about it. Now we're going to head further out into the Atlantic and talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We have a couple of depressions, the remnants of what was Tropical Depression Lee yesterday way up here in the northern Atlantic, and then we have a Tropical Depression number 14 out there. Neither of those are going to be an issue for anyone. There's a little area of low pressure, and you can see kind of some disturbed weather here east of the Bahamas. We're going to have to monitor that, not because it's anything significant right now, but because it's over very warm water, and that's kind of in the vicinity of where Katrina started firing, so we'll keep you posted on that. And then this wave down about halfway between the Leeward Islands and Africa is far enough south that it should escape the influence of shear and the high pressure systems that have been kind of edging our most recent storm systems up out into the open water. So I think that one is possibly going to become Tropical Depression number 15 maybe later today, and that may have some significant development. We'll keep you posted. But at any rate, today as you start your holiday weekend, some sunshine. We do expect storms later this afternoon, some of which could put down some heavy rain if you're traveling anywhere else for this Labor Day weekend. Temperatures still very warm throughout the deep south, 90 for the high in St. Louis, but they will see some cooler temperatures, and then into the northeast, pleasant and sunny, still kind of warm, high of 90 in Philly. A forecast around here today does include a high of 92, sun to start things off, and then afternoon storms becoming likely. Storms linger into the evening, 79 for your low, and here's a look ahead through your holiday weekend. Again, just a little bit cooler by Labor Day. Have a good one.
Take it. Thanks, Elizabeth. The Miami Dolphins ended their preseason against the Atlanta Falcons last night, and the results, they weren't in our favor.
And no, not so much. And you saw it right here on your Dolphin station. Gus Farad and A.J. Feely both struggled in their competition to become Miami's starting quarterback. The Dolphins lost 20-17. The regular season begins next Sunday here at home for the Dolphins against the Denver Broncos. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock right here on CBS 4. See, these games don't count. So
they don't count, so exactly. Right.
We'll give you this one.
That's right. Well, it's 6:20 now. Coming up, Louisiana's governor is declaring war against looters who have created a mob mentality in the waterlogged streets of New Orleans.
The Coast Guard sends help to areas hit hard by Hurricane Katrina.
But first, check out the numbers on Wall Street. It was a mixed bag. Stay with us.
CBS 4 News Traffic is sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Give us a try before you buy. 305-592 Ford.
Catch the Z's you've been dreaming of at Mattress Giant.
It's the Mattress Giant Labor Day sale you've been waiting for. Save 50% off a luxurious Euro top in any size. Or Spring Air, a Consumer Digest Best Buy, on sale from $499.99. Don't miss great savings and 0% interest for 24 months at Mattress Giant's Labor Day sale.
Only at Mattress Giant.
$10,000 minimum for any trade at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek. During the Labor Day blowout, it's going on now until this Monday at midnight. Fairbanks is guaranteeing you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. And exclusive of that, get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, Caravan, and truck, every Dodge Charger, and every other Dodge in stock. But the $10,000 minimum trade deadline is midnight Labor Day at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek.
Before you leave on your vacation this summer, take a look at your auto insurance. Are you certain that you're getting the best price? You should know Mercury Insurance consistently beats its competitors in head-to-head rate comparisons. Florida drivers can save over $500 a year. So whatever road you take this summer, take Mercury along.
Mercury Insurance, going the extra mile for you. For a fast, free quote, call 888-4-MERCURY.
This closed caption is sponsored by the Cochran Firm, now with offices in Miami.
6:22 right now. Police are searching for a man who tried to abduct a student who was walking home from school.
Well, investigators say the 16-year-old girl was grabbed while taking a shortcut through a church parking lot on her way home from American High School in Northwest Miami-Dade on Wednesday. Fortunately, she was able to fight the man off and run away. If you know anything, please call police.
A former FBI agent accused in a deadly wrong-way wreck that killed two brothers back in 1999 is starting to serve his sentence. David Farrell is in the Broward County Jail serving 90 days for driving under the influence. Farrell was acquitted of DUI manslaughter and vehicular homicide in the head-on collision that killed Craig Chambers and Maurice Williams. He still, though, faces a multi-million-dollar civil suit in the case.
Okay, let's get you a check of traffic now at 6:23.
Here is Ty Kennedy. Hi there, Ty.
Hey, good morning, Susan, and good morning, Angela. So far, so good. Not much going on at all. You're going to actually find it to be a very good ride for you on this long holiday weekend. Let's see what's going on for you. If you plan on traveling on 95, it looks good for you between Commercial heading all the way down towards the Golden Glades. No accidents reported right now on 441 of the Turnpike, and 95 heading into downtown. It looks really good for you, as well as the Turnpike. US 1 getting a little slow northbound on your approach to 95, but the Turnpike looks great for you. Your travel time, 75 from the Palmetto to 595, 21 to 24 minutes. 95, the Golden Glades to 595, 13 to 17. And if you're on 95, the Dolphin to the Golden Glades between 15 and 18 minutes. Another report coming up for you in 10. Traffic Control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
All right, Ty, 6:24, and coming up this morning at 6:30, one New Orleans teen steals a school bus, transporting him and several others out of harm's way.
Plus, some power crews who have worked so hard to restore power here in South Florida will soon take off on the task in the Gulf Coast. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running ceramic tile on sale for 59 cents. Hurry, this sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
Say hello to Dolphin Carpet and Tile. $99 a month. Buy a brand new 05 Mitsubishi Lancer from just $99 a month. Only at Bill Seidel Mitsubishi in Miami, Northwest 36th Street and 29th Avenue. And Davey Mitsubishi, 5395 South University Drive.
It's the last weekend to get 100 hot specials at Rooms to Go. That's 100 hot specials through Labor Day only. Plus, make your first payment in April 2007. No money down, no minimum purchase, no interest, no payments until April 2007. Rooms to Go pays the interest for you. Choose from the latest new looks for fall. Get savings on 100 hot specials. Next day delivery on in-stock merchandise and make your first payment April 2007. That's 100 specials, 100 reasons to shop Rooms to Go. Offer ends Labor Day.
How fast could you run when you were 2? The Juvenile Showcase. See 6 big stakes for 2-year-olds. And score a free t-shirt Saturday at Calder.
We've just accomplished the confirmation of extraterrestrial intelligence.
They come from another world.
We heard a sound first. After that, everything went to hell.
They can strike anytime, any place, anyone. Now, these 6 people are investigating the signs.
Protruding bone, distorted features.
His cells are still mutating. You can't stop it.
This team is the only thing between us and them. Threshold. Series premiere September 16th.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running genuine hardwood on sale for $2.99 a square foot. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
6:26, opening up Dr. Sean Knipp's medical file this morning. There's a new theory out about what causes mad cow disease.
That theory proposes that it may have come from feeding British cattle meal contaminated with infected human remains. Now, the meal in question came from India, where bodies are sometimes thrown into a river as part of funeral rites. Scientists say the theory deserves further research.
Soda is fizzling out in California. The state assembly approved legislation that would ban selling carbonated drinks in state high schools there. That ban would allow schools to sell milk, drinks with at least 50% fruit or vegetable juice along with water. The new measure would cost school districts hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost income, but state leaders say the health benefits far outweigh the loss of revenue.
Half of U.S. children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder are being treated with drugs. That is the word from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in what they're calling the first comprehensive study on ADHD. The study found just under 8% of U.S. children ages 4 to 17 had been diagnosed with the disorder. It also found that boys are more than twice as likely to be diagnosed with ADHD than girls.
6:28, coming up at 6:30, the Coast Guard sends help to areas hit hardest by Hurricane Katrina.
Also, frustrations running high as a fight breaks out at a hurricane shelter.
Plus, a South Florida university is allowing students displaced by the strong storm to attend classes.
All that and more just ahead, so stick around.
It's the final summer sale, now through Labor Day weekend at Rick Case Acura. Now find the lowest prices of the year on all remaining 05 Acuras. RSX, TSX, MDX, TL, even the all-new RL. New Acuras from $199 a month. Buy any new Acura with 0 down. Plus get $500 in gas with any new or used car. Ends 9 p.m. Tuesday at Rick Case Acura, 441 at Sunrise, Florida's largest volume dealer.
The Rick Case philosophy is simple.
Treat every customer as our best friend.
This Labor Day, Modern Age brings you the most spectacular selection ever at the absolute lowest prices. Enjoy astounding everyday deals, plus an extra 20% off all clearance merchandise. Just click the special coupon in our insert and take advantage of already drastically discounted floor samples and special buys. Make a purchase today and pay nothing for 1 full year. This Labor Day, shop smart. Hurry into the store that won't be undersold. Modern Age, where beautiful homes cost less.
1 in 4 Americans has some form of heart disease. Hi, I'm CBS 4's Maggie Rodriguez. Many families have been affected by heart disease. That's why I urge you to join me at the 2005 Miami-Dade County Heart Walk on Saturday, September 17th at Peacock Park in Coconut Grove. Together, we can raise funds for life-saving heart and stroke research. For more information, call 305-856-1449 and help CBS 4 and the American Heart Association change tomorrow today.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News This Morning.
Well, good morning to you, South Florida. I'm Angela Ray, sitting in for Daniel Knox.
And I'm Susan Barnett. Here's a look at our top stories this morning.
We are following some breaking news for you right now. Reports of fires and an explosion erupting in New Orleans.
A look at just how strong this storm was. Home video recorded as it hit.
Louisiana's governor is declaring war against looters who have created a mob mentality in the waterlogged streets of New Orleans.
Houston's Astrodome, a home away from home for thousands from New Orleans, is now turning people away. The building is full.
FPNL crews headed to the Gulf Coast to help our friends out. I'm Nefertiti Jacquez, and I'll have that in my live report coming up next.
Power crews who worked so hard to restore power here in South Florida now have a new task to tackle.
Plus, a look at rising gas prices and how you can conserve.
And South Florida is sending help to the areas hit hardest by Hurricane Katrina. We'll have live team coverage.
The U.S. Customs and Border Protection heading out this morning to the Gulf Port. Yusila Ramirez will have that story coming up next.
And your weather station keeping a very close eye on the busy tropics as we head into the peak of hurricane season.
Oh, yippee. 6:31 Friday, September 2nd.
Time to get you on your way out the door. Here's Elizabeth Hart with all that good stuff. Hey, Elizabeth.
Well, good morning, Danielle. Or Danielle, where is she? I don't know.
She's here in spirit.
Susan and Angela. How are you, ladies? It's Friday, man. We got a weekend ahead of us, a long one at that. How's it going to be? Well, it could be better. Let me just put it that way. It is very steamy to start things off out there this morning. Temperatures are just a slight bit cooler than they were at this time yesterday. Everybody reporting in with 70, so that's a little improvement. But it is going to be another scorcher out there today. Here are the storms we had rolling through here last evening. Some pockets of heavy rain, and we expect more of the same. We showed you this huge broad view of the Atlantic Ocean because there are 4 things out there that we're keeping tabs on. A couple of depressions, an area of low pressure here east of the Bahamas, and a wave out in the central Atlantic. So we'll talk all about all that and detail your weekend forecast. For right now, we'll have some steamy sun this morning and then afternoon storms, high of 92.
Okay, thanks so much, Elizabeth. Ty Kennedy, give us a check of traffic, please, sir.
All right, Angela, I will give you a check of traffic, and things aren't looking good for you any longer. Let's start looking at the 826 and see what you got to worry about. Brake lights as far as the eye can see, and this is due to a crash on the Palmetto southbound at Okeechobee, and it's slowing you up quite a bit. It's only 6:33 and it looks pretty congested. Hopefully they'll clear this out in the next 20 or 30 minutes. If you want to avoid it, the Turnpike Extension's a great alternate for you this morning. You can take Red Road if you like side streets and lots of traffic lights. Let's move over to the maps and see how things are shaping up for you this morning. Overall, not a bad ride for you. You got that issue on the Palmetto. US 441 at 177th Street, you'll find a crash there. But look at 75. It's moving along at the posted speed. Things look pretty good for you there. Making our way further up north, the Turnpike looks great for you. Starting to pick up a bit, but still moving along really well. Broward Boulevard all the way up towards Commercial Boulevard. This report brought to you by Palmetto Ford. Give them a try before you buy, and we will have another report for you in 10 minutes. In traffic control, Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
6:33, breaking news in New Orleans at this hour. There are reports of fires and explosions in the city right now.
And we have CBS 4's Brian Andrews on the phone live with the very latest. Brian, what can you tell us?
Hey guys, the sun isn't even up yet, and the scariness that's always there when you're in the dark and you don't know what's going on is really affecting thousands of people this morning in the southwest part of New Orleans. There are reports of a number of explosions and fires that have broke out. This is in the southwest part of town. We're not quite sure because we can't get there, and we're not sure what's there because you can't see anything, what's burning. We're not sure if these are refineries or if these are gas stations or what it is, but something has exploded on the edge of downtown New Orleans in the southwest quadrant of the city, and there are reported to be numerous fires. Meantime, we can hear the sound of helicopters that are ferrying law enforcement and military personnel back and forth between the command post here at I-10 and Kenner and the Superdome. And at first light this morning, we're told that the mass evacuation of people from the Superdome and from the convention center continues. They try to get as many people as they can out of town and toward Houston, where the conditions are so much better. But yeah, guys, right now we're hearing several explosions, several fires burning in the southwest part of town. David, our new meteorologist, Bernard, he's trying to talk to some of his law enforcement friends right now to find out exactly what it is, and as soon as we get it, we'll get back to you.
Hey, Brian, I wanted to ask you a quick question. I know that you're now outside of New Orleans in Kenner, Louisiana. Obviously, you're without power, as you just said, but explain the conditions there versus the conditions in New Orleans that you were just under for the past 5 days.
Angela, I'm on a satellite phone, and you came in completely garbled. Could you repeat the question?
Sure. I know you're in Kenner, Louisiana, which is on the outskirts of New Orleans, and I'm wondering what the situation is like there versus New Orleans. I know you don't have electricity there, but the situation is so dire in New Orleans now. I'm wondering if it's similar in Kenner.
Well, it's actually a little bit better here in Kenner because we don't have, 15,000 people who are looking for a place to use the bathroom and looking for a meal and looking for water. But we know it's only a matter of time before the thousands that are in downtown either walk this way, because people are walking this way, or are bus this way. In Kenner, where we're at a shopping center that was pretty much wiped out by the hurricane force winds, but we have security, so we know we're safe. The problem is that downtown is a mob scene. Also, we have food here. We have water. I had a chance to actually have a turkey sandwich last night about midnight, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, you're doing better. You're doing better than most people then.
Well, we're all right in Kenner. I mean, Kenner got nailed just like downtown, but we don't have the same human drama that they have in downtown with just thousands of exasperated people, you know, really at the edge of doing crazy stuff.
Yeah,
and
Brian.
That's really.
Brian, is the thought that the people in Kenner there, they evacuated before the storm? That's why there's not the many people there?
Yes, that's the case, and also Kenner has become a staging point, if you will, for law enforcement. So there is law and order in Kenner. Well, right now there's lawlessness downtown in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard anything, Brian, about the situation at the Astrodome there? Because the Superdome there, because the Astrodome is full. They can't take any more people, so they're turning people away. Has that word kind of spread back to the Superdome there? Are people aware of that?
Really, that's the case?
Yeah.
This is news to me, but then again, we're kind of cut off here.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to run that by David.
Yeah.
David's outside the satellite truck right now. He's talking to his law enforcement friends, and I'm going to see if we can get an answer to that and join you at the top of the hour with more information on that.
Sounds good, Brian, because just one more thing you can tell David, what's salient about all this is that the Astrodome said they could take double the people that they are actually able to take. They said they could take 23,000 when in actuality they could only take 11, and now those people are being turned away and they're trying to absorb them in other parts of Houston.
Well, hey, maybe we can open up the National Car Rental Center and send them to Broward. Who knows?
All right. Well, Brian Andrews.
No, I'm trying to be a little light. It's been a tough morning, folks. I'll tell you what we'll do. David and I are going to work the phones, work our law enforcement people here in Kenner, and both of us will try to get back with you at the top of the hour with some new information on all of this.
Okay, sounds good. Brian Andrews, thanks, reporting live for us in Kenner, Louisiana.
And President Bush is slated to tour the Gulf Coast states by helicopter to survey Katrina's damage. Meantime, relief efforts in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina are getting tougher because of the increased tension there.
The streets are just filled with people who are hungry and angry. Dead bodies are everywhere. CBS 4's Allison Harmelin has more now from Louisiana.
The chaos in New Orleans is turning into all-out anarchy. Armed looters prey on the helpless, dead bodies litter the streets, and thousands still wait to be evacuated. When buses do arrive, near riots break out for the seats. People are tired, frustrated, and overwhelmed.
We are all citizens that pay taxes, and we deserve to get something better treatment than this.
Many of Katrina's refugees are still at the Superdome and Convention Center. While conditions are primitive, officials say survivors are now being fed, but they don't have enough buses to move them. And on Thursday, the mayor issued a desperate SOS for aid. The federal government says relief is on the way in the form of thousands of more troops from the National Guard, food supplies, and cash. Many who have made it out of New Orleans are bringing with them their incredible stories of survival. They describe a city where mob mentality has taken over.
For a bottle of water, someone would hurt you or even kill you.
It's inhuman. I just cannot understand the mentality of these people.
4 days after Katrina hit, people are still wading through the streets. But there has been some progress. Helicopters have begun dropping giant sandbags to plug holes in the broken levees that left New Orleans underwater. And while that may solve one major problem, restoring law and order in the Big Easy could be far more difficult. In Kenner, Louisiana, Allison Harmelin, CBS 4 This Morning.
Dramatic video from a South Florida man caught in Biloxi, Mississippi moments after Katrina hits that city. Boca Raton resident Shane Brown took these pictures from his third-floor hotel room when the storm hit on Monday morning. The storm surge reached 27 feet and broke open the steel doors of their hallway. After Hurricane Katrina swept through South Florida, power crews from all over the country helped many of us here to see the light. Now they have more work to do. CBS 4's Nefertiti Jacquez live in Hialeah with more on this story. Nef, good morning.
Good morning, Angela. And as you mentioned, it's been a little over a week that FP&L crews have restored power for hundreds of thousands of South Florida residents. So to say thank you, FP&L threw a party for the night crew last night, and will throw yet another party for the AM crew this morning. But the party won't last too long. The already tired crews are headed to the Gulf Coast to try to shed some light there.
They worked 16-hour days, and now that the power is mostly back on, for a few moments the party was on.
Great stuff here, but it's a good meal here.
These guys worked up a powerful hunger.
We'd like to pay a real sincere and heartfelt thanks to everyone in this camp right here.
Florida Power and Light treated the men and women who got South Florida out of the dark to a meal fit for a king yesterday, prime rib and lobster. But for most of these tired men and women, the work is just beginning. They're headed to the Gulf Coast, hammered by Katrina.
We're just ready to go help the other people. We've seen a lot, watched a lot on TV when it's real bad, and we're ready to see if we can't get some power restored for them.
So these workers from 25 states will spend more time away from home. They say they're earning money, but Gil Kelly from Delaware says there is another reward.
A large part of it is just seeing satisfaction on people's face. They come out crying. There's so many stores today. A woman had asthma. She's been suffering. She was so thrilled to just get electric back on.
So in the end, they're prepared to leave, ready to work, and to spread the good old high voltage love.
I think I love you.
Very cute. Now, if you take a look, over 300 workers are preparing their trucks this morning because after their breakfast party, they'll head out to the Gulf Coast to help our friends there. And the breakfast is set to start sometime earlier this morning, and we will be there to wish them well. Live from the Hialeah racetrack, Nefertiti Jacquez, CBS 4 News this morning.
Florida Governor Jeb Bush says people should go ahead with their Labor Day plans despite concerns about rising gas prices. Now, in some parts of the Sunshine State, the average price of a gallon of gas is over $3. Officials say that although there could be isolated shortages, the state does have enough gasoline to last throughout the three-day weekend.
6:43 this morning, U.S. Customs and Border Protection are sending a team from Miami to help victims of Hurricane Katrina.
Trucks loaded with food, medical supplies, even generators are on their way to help with the recovery efforts. And 2 marine vessels will also be used to find flood survivors.
CBS 4's Yusela Ramirez live from the Port of Miami with the very latest. Yusela, good morning.
Good morning. That team is expected to leave here very soon to the Gulf Coast. We were just told they're actually going to go into New Orleans. Now, they are armed with supplies that are desperately needed in that area. Food, medical supplies, tarps, generators, power tools, and just simple manpower. All things that are scarce in a region, in that region after Hurricane Katrina stripped them of all the essentials. Now, the officers will be loading up the trucks with those supplies and leaving the Port of Miami around 7 this morning. We understand several dozen officers will be heading out, and this is in addition to the 1,000+ that FEMA is providing along with Homeland Security. Also going with the team this morning will be 2 marine vessels to help out in the search for missing or for surviving flood victims. This is the second team that has gone out since Hurricane Katrina hit that region. The last team went out on Saturday. They were actually deployed in anticipation to all of this chaos. And now you've got this crew that will be relieving the one that left on Saturday. Of course, we're being told that it's very grueling work, a lot of hard work for those men and women who left here last Saturday. So these folks who are leaving today will be giving them a break, and the folks that are now in the Gulf Coast will be actually heading back home. We'll bring you more on this later on today. That's the very latest for now, though. Outside the Port of Miami, Yusela Ramirez, CBS 4 News this morning.
And CBS 4's Mike Kirsch is heading to the New Orleans area, so look for his live reports this week on CBS 4 News.
And join us this weekend for a 1-hour Hurricane Katrina special and telethon. We'll bring you the latest out of the Gulf Coast and give you a chance to help out the victims, so please don't miss it. It's this Saturday at 7 p.m. and again on our sister station, UPN 33. That'll be Sunday at 1 p.m.
6:45 right now. Coming up next this morning, a teenager takes a school bus, heads to Houston, picking up people along the way.
UPN 33 News this morning is on the way. Today's web poll will be something just about all of us are talking about. We're talking gas prices. Tell me how the rising costs at the pump are affecting you. That's coming up at 7 on UPN 33 News this morning.
Now here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. Grab your tickets and good luck. We'll be back.
Urgent! Employee Pricing Plus. Save up to $82.83 on Grand Cherokee. Save up to $56.55 on Jeep Liberty. Employee Pricing Plus at Dade Jeep Chrysler. Southwest 158th Street and US 1.
Marshall's Law number 6. You can't choose your DNA, but you can always choose your jeans. Designer fall fashions. Fabulous prices you'll fall for. That's Marshall's Law.
Benning Bar celebrates over 40 years of the lowest discount prices. Buy our queen for the price of their full. Just $499.88. And that price includes our famous 8-piece linen package and frame. Over $300 worth of the finest quality merchandise at no extra charge. Or buy the world-famous Tempur-Pedic at the lowest discount prices. You've got to feel it to believe it. Benning Bar has real discount deals, not pie in the sky. Take it home with yours. Same-day delivery available. Buy at a Benning Bar near you. In Florida, Boynton Beach, Tamarack, West Palm Beach, Deerfield, and Davie.
County Line Lexus makes the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales event even more golden. Right now, lease a fabulous new RX or ES 330 loaded with leather, CD, and sunroof for only $399 per month. $399 for only 36 months. Take advantage of huge Lexus Golden Opportunity savings, plus sign and drive on every new Lexus with absolutely no money down and no money out of pocket during the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales event going on right now at County Line Lexus, home of the Lexus way.
Fat. I used to worry about nasty germs and ugly stains. But now I use Lysol Toilet Bowl Cleaner. Lysol's powerful formula clings, killing germs. It gets under the rim. Look how fast Tough Lime Scale disappears. Watch this. It destroys tough rust stains, leaving the bowl sparkling clean. And it kills germs to help protect my family.
Life demands Lysol. That's a fact. To clean and brighten your toilet, try Lysol Toilet Bowl Cleaner with bleach.
CBS 4 Weather is sponsored by the South Florida Water Management District, protectors of the Everglades.
Hello there, 648. We're going to get you a check of traffic. Hi, Ty Kennedy.
Hey, Angela Ray, good morning. Not looking good for you on the Palmetto. Let's take a look. You got problems. Southbound on the Palmetto, reports of an earlier crash, excuse me, right around Okeechobee is delaying this road. This looks horrible. Stay off of it. Turnpike extension, great alternate for you, a red road. You're going to find it a bit slow all the way down towards the accident site, and then it picks back up a bit. Looking at your travel times, 95 from the Golden Glades to 595, 15 on the 95 corridor, Dolphin to the Golden Glades, 18 and 20, and the Dolphin 95 the Palmetto. That trip will take you 20 minutes. This report is brought to you by Sears. We'll have another one for you in 10. Traffic control. Ty Kennedy, CBS 4 News this morning.
Here's meteorologist Elizabeth Hart joining me now to talk about, oh yeah, you talk about weather, don't you?
Oh yeah,
entertainment.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of weather to talk about. Yep. Of course, we have the holiday weekend, looks a little shaky, and tropics. Man, it just explosive activity out there. Nothing real significant, but we have 4 different things going on. So we'll detail it all for you coming up here. 78 in western Miami-Dade, 79 in Fort Lauderdale, 83 down in the Keys. We're an 8 on the stickiness scale, and the winds are calm. All right, let's take a look at what's been going on the past 12 hours, satellite and radar-wise. Yet again, we had some storms fire up yesterday afternoon, and they were real strong on the north side of Lake Okeechobee, but as is typical this time of the year, the loss of daytime heating, everything died on out, so we are quiet. There have been a couple of showers flirting with the lower Keys, but have not had a whole lot of success making their way across the overseas highway, but do be on the lookout for that from about Marathon down to Key West. Okay, let's get to the tropics because there's a lot to cover here. A little area of disturbed weather in the western Atlantic. This is just to the east of the Bahamas, and the models have been a little persistent in developing an area of low pressure here. So not that we're real concerned about it right now, but because of the water temperatures this time of the year and the position in pretty close proximity to us, we're going to have to keep very close tabs on that. Now, we do have a couple of depressions out there. Well, Lee has kind of faded from existence, but the remnants of that now moving out into the northern Atlantic. And this is tropical depression at number 14. That one is not going to be an issue for us. It's going to head northward, but it does look like depression number 14 will develop into a tropical storm, and if it does, it could happen later today. It will be named Maria. This is probably going to be our biggest concern. It's way out here in the Atlantic. It's about halfway between the Leeward Islands and the coast of Africa, but because of its southern position, it's going to really miss the influence of the high up to the north, and we think that in the coming days that could definitely develop into something a little more significant. So this is 14, and we think that this wave down here could become 15, maybe later this afternoon. Hot AM sunshine, some heavy afternoon storms possible, so that threat for heavy rain will be with us not just this afternoon, but into the early part of the holiday weekend. On and off storms for your Saturday with heavy rain possible. We will be just a little bit cooler by the end of the weekend. Here are the details on your forecast. 92 for your high later on, and again some stormy weather expected. Storms linger into the evening. 79 for the low, and there's a look ahead. Again, notice the temperatures declining just a bit. 89 on Labor Day. Have a good one.
Thank you, you too. A teenager takes a school bus and makes the 7-hour drive from New Orleans to Houston, Texas, picking up a couple dozen new friends along the way. The 18-year-old says it was a matter of survival and wanting to save others.
I don't care if I get blamed for it, as long as I just save my people.
About 60 charter buses were expected to arrive overnight. 6:52 now. Coming up, the latest on explosions in New Orleans and Louisiana's governor declaring war against looters. Also ahead on UPN 33 News this morning, victims of Hurricane Katrina are getting more help from some of your favorite entertainers. I'm going to tell you who's lending a hand. Stay with us.
CBS 4 News Traffic is sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Give us a try before you buy. 305-592 Ford.
He knows the city. He knows what hurricane victims are facing. Now, David Bernard returns to his former home.
What happened this week was a catastrophic hurricane.
David Bernard in New Orleans, tonight at 5 on CBS 4 News.
Are you hungry? My favorite cereal is Honey Bunches of Oats.
Every spoonful is a little different. You got 3 kinds of flakes.
The clusters are more of a crunch, you know, where the flakes are more of a crisp.
It's the cereal you'd make if you made cereal.
It's like a mouthful of joy.
$10,000 minimum for any trade-in at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass. All during the Labor Day blowout going on now until Monday at midnight. Fairbanks is guaranteeing you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. And exclusive of that, get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, Caravan, and truck, every Dodge Charger, and every other Dodge in stock. But the $10,000 minimum trade deadline is midnight Labor Day at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass.
No community in the country knows the meaning of the words natural disaster like we do here in South Florida. We recovered because we got help. Now it's our turn to help. Call 305-597-4404. Thank you.
If you dream of furnishing your home with the best, but think it's out of your price range, you haven't been to Behr's. Now get extra savings on the stuff that dreams are made of at Behr's incredible Labor Day weekend sale. Up to 50% savings on every item in our showroom. All the styles you want at prices you have to see to believe. No interest 1 year, 24-hour delivery. Pinch yourself, you're not dreaming. Behr's Labor Day weekend sale. Beyond the ordinary. Don't miss it.
Sell your house in 24 hours. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT. Do no repairs. Pay no commissions. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT. Get an offer on your house now. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT. Have your cake and eat it too. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT.
Man, the Mazda summer sales event could really be a problem. This Mazda 3 drives as good as they say.
And that Tribute.
And there's the Mazda 6.
Oh, man.
Which reminds me, where's...
It's the Mazda's on the Move Summer Sales Event. During our model year-end clearance, get up to $3,000 cash back on a 2005 Mazda 6 Sports Sedan. Offers end September 6th, so get to your Mazda dealer now.
6:55, here's a look at our top stories right now. A series of explosions reportedly rocked New Orleans this morning.
Those explosions and subsequent fires sparked just after 4:30 in the southwest part of the city. Still not sure what caused those explosions, and we don't know about the extent of the damage.
Meantime, there has been rampant looting, carjacking, and other violence spreading in the Gulf Coast region, with even rescuers being attacked. The U.S. military expects to increase National Guard deployment to 30,000 from around the country to help with security, rescue, and relief. Governor Kathleen Blanco is warning looters that these new troops will exercise force if needed.
All right, 5 minutes now before 7 o'clock. Time to hit the road.
Yeah, hit the road, Jack, with Ty Kennedy. Hey, Ty.
Hey, Angela. Good morning, Susan. On the Palmetto is pretty much where you'll be sitting and wasting lots of gas. Let's take a look. If you don't listen to what I'm telling you right now, you'll be spending quite a bit of time there in traffic. 75 all the way down towards 36. You're going to find it very slow. Turnpike Extension Red Road is your alternate this morning. There was an earlier accident at 103rd that slowed you down. Now we're looking at 95 near 151st, courtesy Department of Transportation. A bit slow on your approach into downtown. And moving over the maps, you get two things you have to worry about this morning. Crash reported on the Turnpike at the Golden Glades heading southbound. Also got something now on the 112 near Okeechobee if you're heading westbound, so that should slow you up just a bit. Next report here on CBS 4 comes up at 7:25. Until then, make it a great day. Take it away, ladies.
All right, Ty, 6:56 right now. Time for one more check of the weather with
Elizabeth Hart.
Good morning, ladies. Sunrise just a few minutes away, but you can already see things lightening up. This is a live look out over downtown Fort Lauderdale. A little bit of hazy sunshine on the horizon, and so far everybody is dry. But we don't think that it will stay that way as we take a look at the true view for later on this afternoon. A typically southwest wind flow will provide some storms for us, and we think some of these could be heavy through the afternoon. So the threat for heavy rain is definitely going to be there. As we take a sneak peek ahead to your holiday weekend, on and off storms with some heavy rain possible. This little frontal system is going to ease on down here, and that will result in some slightly cooler temperatures by the end of the holiday weekend. So here's your forecast for today. Sun to storms later this afternoon. Some of them could be heavy. We will top out near 92. It'll feel like about 105 when you factor in the humidity. And here it is, the big Labor Day weekend forecast. Saturday, stormy weather expected as we said, but there are some of those slightly cooler temperatures. We'll be in the upper 80s Sunday and Monday. That'll feel good.
All right, it will. Thanks, Elizabeth. All right, come with us to UPN 33. Now.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running Pergo type laminate on sale for 99 cents. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
For a limited time only, stop by your local Publix grocery store and pick up a free copy of Kellogg's Healthy Beginnings magazine, filled with valuable coupons worth over $20.
Looking for smart solutions? Pick up a copy of today's Herald.
Avoid the deadly days of summer. Don't drink and drive. Designate a sober driver. This message is furnished by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Proud sponsors of Dolphins preseason football on CBS 4.
Eliza Jean, call holding line 1. Eliza Jean.
Catch the Z's you've been dreaming of at Mattress Giant.
It's the Mattress Giant Labor Day sale you've been waiting for. Save 50% off a luxurious Euro top in any size. Or Spring Air, a Consumer Digest Best Buy, on sale from $499.99. Don't miss great savings and 0% interest for 24 months at Mattress Giant's Labor Day sale.
Only at Mattress Giant. Ooh, ah. Our Wildest Dreams bus is coming to you. Big stars making big dreams come true. Next Oprah.
Today at 4 on 4.
Did you know there are 50 endangered or threatened species that call the Everglades home? Help these animals survive and thrive. Be careful not to pollute this unique natural resource.
This message is underwritten by the South Florida Water Management District, protector of the Everglades.
I'm Ramiro Ortiz with Bank United. We're proud to partner with Neighbors for Neighbors during your 12th year of community service, helping connect those in need with those willing to help. Bank United and Neighbors for Neighbors, helping make a difference in South Florida. It's a local thing.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. 30 years ago, I founded Dolphin Carpet and Tile. This weekend, we're running travertine marble on sale for $249 a square foot. Hurry in. This sale ends Monday at 8 p.m.
You're watching CBS 4, South Florida's most watched television station.